Huge headlines this morning that a North Korean soldier walked across the DMZ and defected to South Korea. And I think a lot of people did not read the full articles. They thought that it was actually someone who had walked across that joint authority area that is the subject of so many documentaries where you have North and South Korean soldiers sort of facing off. That was not the case. I'll tell you the actual story. This was a teenage North Korean soldier, completely normal to have teenage North Korean soldiers in North Korea, as we know, walked across what is the most heavily militarized border earlier today, defecting to South Korea. There are more than 1,000 defections from North Korea to South Korea every year, but most of the defectors go through China because it's considered safer and less risky. So it's pretty rare that a North Korean just crosses that heavily mined, demilitarized zone. The last crossing was about 3 years ago in 2012. The soldier reportedly approached a remote South Korean guard post in Gangwon Province's Hwaseong County in the central area of the peninsula at about 8 a.m. local time this morning. This was not someone walking across the Joint Security Area, also known as the JSA. A ton of people tweeting and writing and posting as if it was this incredible situation where a North Korean soldier standing just over the line at the Joint Security Area just sort of ran over into the arms of South Korean soldiers. Not at all the way it happened, Lewis, but still, every time this happens, it is interesting, particularly when we know that North Korea has placed all sorts of mines along that area, not to keep people out, but to keep their own soldiers in, which tells you a lot about what's happening there.
Yeah, it's incredible. I wonder what is going to happen to this guy's family. If he has any family, they're certainly going to be in a lot of trouble now. I think a military coup here, if people could just summon their courage and find ways to make it happen, I mean, all their problems would be solved.
You mean if the North Koreans were able to do that?
Yeah, I think it would require a military coup. I don't think you could have a revolution here, considering the size of the military.
Right.
But it could happen, right?
Yeah, that, I mean, I'm being optimistic. Of course, conceptually it could happen. Practically speaking, in North Korea, could it happen? I don't really know. And we hear about how the U.S. is very interested in solving humanitarian crises. There always just happens to be some natural resource or the stability of some commodity in the market at stake. Here we have a situation where it is a humanitarian crisis. Arguably, it maybe is also some kind of national security crisis, but it doesn't really seem that clear that it is. And the U.S. seems to have no interest in going in. And again, I'm not advocating that the U.S. go in. I'm just saying that it really exposes the double standard around the U.S. and humanitarian concerns around the world. And there's many other examples in Africa as well.
Yeah, it's tough. What do you do? It seems our only course of action is sanctions, and well, those end up hurting the civilians as well. And so, how do you solve this problem? Maybe you don't.